Montalvo Broadcasting Network. Support MBN, Montalvo Broadcasting Network, and shop with us over at Montalvo Store. Go to ebay.com and search in the advanced search. Type in Montalvo Store. Now support Montalvo Broadcasting Network. We have a wide array of books on conspiracy, apparel, and much more. Support your favorite radio station, Montalvo Broadcasting Network, by visiting Montalvo Store on ebay.com.
Tribal, primitive, rustic, Burning Man, punk rock, conceptual subculture for the edgiest, most cutting-edge designs of jewelry today. Go to etsy.com/shop/conceptual subculture, or one word, either by going to Google or search Etsy, ETSY.com, and type in one word, conceptual subculture. You will find the hottest designs using natural stones with wire wrap rings, rough, raw, genuine, semi-precious gemstone jewelry, solid sterling silver, copper, leather, orgonite, bracelets, pendants, chokers, men's copper cups with sterling accents, eco-friendly, repurposed, original, one-of-a-kind design earrings. Support MBN by going to Conceptual Subculture on Etsy. Go to Antique Obsessions for the hottest in jewelry, antiques, repurposed, solid sterling silver, one-of-a-kind, handmade by Bruce and Jaja. Go to our Facebook, which is Antique Obsessions, or you can go to Etsy.com and go to Antique Obsessions, one word, or type it into your Google and find us there.
The stylish and hippest clothing around. Go to Poshmark.com. Poshmark.com at Anti-Culture. At Anti-Culture. The coolest, hippest apparel on the internet. Poshmark.com at Anti-Culture.
Hi, this is Jaja. Come shop with us at Poshmark.com/closet/anticulture. Sign up for Poshmark using our code ANTICULTURE. That way you can have $5 in your pocket when you join up and you can buy something from our store. We have mad stuff like upcycle things, Armani, Hurley, O'Neill. We upcycling all kinds of things like LL Bean. And plus we got our tie-dyes and just mad stuff. Just come check us out. Also, you can sell your own stuff too using the Poshmark app. But sign in first using our code ANTICULTURE. And you can find us at Poshmark.com/closet/anticulture. Or when you're up in there, just at Anticulture us. And you can look under the people. Check you out. Peace.
This is a Fox News alert. Results filtering in. I'm Lisa Lacera. Delegates in 14 states up for grabs this Super Tuesday, with California the big prize. Fox's Jessica Rosenthal live in L.A.
Lisa, while Bernie Sanders does have big support here in California, Joe Biden decided to come here today. He went to a diner in Oakland and a Roscoe's Chicken and Waffles in Los Angeles. LA's where he's having his election night party.
Now I'm also in a very different position. I'm above the ground. They haven't buried me yet. I'm not dead. I'm back. And so, all kidding aside, I feel good. There's a real sense of momentum.
He said earlier that he felt good about Virginia and North Carolina, which have since been called for him. Even if we get a call here in California of an overall winner, this is not a winner-take-all state. The delegate haul gets divided up among candidates based on getting at least 15% support statewide and in each congressional district, Lisa.
Thanks, Jessica. It's 9 o'clock on the East Coast, and polls have just closed in 3 more Super Tuesday states, Colorado, Minnesota, and Texas. The Fox News decision desk can now project that Vermont Senator Bernie Sanders will win the state of Colorado, an important victory for the Democratic Socialist as he tries to counter gains elsewhere by former Vice President Joe Biden. But the contest is still close in Texas, where we do not yet have enough data to project a winner. The same is true in Minnesota, the home state of Senator Amy Klobuchar, who dropped out of the presidential race just yesterday. And the Fox News decision desk can now project that former Vice President Joe Biden will win the state of Oklahoma. Former New York City Mayor Mike Bloomberg addressed supporters in West Palm Beach, Florida a short time ago.
This is a campaign for change, a campaign for sanity.
Bloomberg picked up delegates in American Samoa. America is listening to Fox News.
Successful companies know that in order to grow faster, you must have the right tools. Whether you're doing $1 million, $10 million, or hundreds of millions in revenue, NetSuite by Oracle gives you the tools you need to accelerate your growth. With NetSuite, you get a full picture of your business, finance, inventory, HR, customers, and more. It's everything you need to grow, all in one place, right from your phone or computer. NetSuite will give you the visibility and control you need to make the right decisions and grow with confidence. That's why NetSuite customers grow faster than the S&P 500. NetSuite is the world's #1 cloud business system, trusted by more than 19,000 companies. It's the last system you'll ever need. NetSuite. Business grows here. Schedule your free product tour right now and receive your free guide, 7 Key Strategies to Grow Your Profits at netsuite.com/Fox. That's netsuite.com/Fox. That's netsuite.com/Fox.
Cleaning up from the devastation in parts of Tennessee after deadly tornadoes touched down.
You can actually look right into houses. That's because the walls have been ripped away in so many houses, and there's people inside that house trying to do what they can to get ready for the next storm. 25 dead, but that number likely to go up even further. There are still dozens of people unaccounted for. This tornado hit at 1 o'clock in the morning, and when you talk to people here, it's clear they had to make quick decisions, including a mother who grabbed her son and ran out of a crumbling house.
Fox's Steve Harrigan in Nashville. The Supreme Court deciding whether to make it easier for the president to fire the head of the agency that enforces federal consumer financial laws. The decision could ultimately impact a vast range of agencies. The High Court was hearing the arguments today in a case involving the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau, the agency Congress created in response to the 2008 financial crisis. Senior Trump administration officials visit the Turkish-Syrian border in support of NATO ally Turkey.
President Trump's UN ambassador and special envoy became the first U.S. officials to visit rebel-held northwest Syria on Tuesday. Russian-backed Syrian and Turkish forces have escalated hostilities days after dozens of Turkish soldiers were killed in an airstrike. Ambassador Kelly Craft announced the U.S. would spend an additional $108 million in humanitarian assistance for the people of Syria, adding to the more than $10 billion the U.S. has donated since the start of Syria's civil war. Craft was joined by Special Envoy James Jeffrey, who said the U.S. is willing to give Turkey ammunition as well. At the Pentagon, Lucas Tomlinson, Fox News.
Despite a move by the Fed to slash a key interest rate to calm fears over the coronavirus, stocks still fell sharply. The Dow sank 785 points, or 2.9%. The S&P ended down 86 points, its 8th drop in the last 9 days. I'm Lisa Lacera, and this is Fox News.
Fast-growing companies need the right tools, so they choose NetSuite by Oracle. Get a full picture of your business, finance, inventory, HR, customers, and more, all in one place. Schedule your free product tour right now at netsuite.com/Fox. That's netsuite.com/Fox.
Bruce Montalvo.
Continues to spread conspiracy theories.
Penchant for promoting bogus conspiracies as though they were fact.
Conspiracy theory.
This is CNN, a network of China Broadcasting System.
Bruce Montalvo is the only radio talk show host that's not controlled. You're listening to the Bruce Montalvo Show.
Hello and welcome, ladies and gentlemen. You're listening to a very special episode, very special broadcast of the Bruce Montalvo Show, March 3rd, 2020. And joining me is no stranger to this show. He is a researcher for over 50 years on occult and esoteric topics such as secret societies. And he is also the co-author of my book. Yes, my publication, The Language of Symbols, available on Kindle. Books are coming soon to hardcover. He's joining me now. Jordan Maxwell. Hello, Jordan.
Hello there, Bruce.
Great to have you on. How's everything?
Well, I think all right. We'll find out as we go along. I think we're doing okay.
You sound good. You don't sound like you've contracted this coronavirus they want everybody to be afraid of.
Yeah, no, not me. Where I live is very difficult for me to catch anything because I live in northern Flagstaff, Arizona. I live in north of Flagstaff, Arizona in the mountains. And so I don't get down into town very much. I don't get around large groups of people like you do in a big city. And so I'm pretty much by myself up here in the mountains by myself. And so I don't get around too much around people who I might catch something from.
Right.
So that's one nice thing.
Yeah, I don't know what they're doing though. I mean, it looks like a whole bunch of hysteria. I mean, I do know that they have the geoengineering and they're spraying stuff in the air. So no matter where you go, you're going to be breathing the aluminum and the barium and whatever. But you're right. If you're not in these high, people areas like Los Angeles and whatnot, you're not likely to get like all these diseases that are coming back from the Middle Ages, like dengue fever or what is it, like the bubonic plague I hear is on Skid Row.
Yeah,
it's
me
scary
too.
stuff.
Yep, and so I'm happy about that. I'm not happy about how cold it is up here.
Right.
North in Flagstaff, Arizona, is freezing cold all the time, except in summer, of course. And happily, spring is on its way. Right. And the temperature will be changing and get warmer and more livable. But boy, it's been freezing cold up here for a long time.
Right. Well, we're out here in the desert in Arizona. It gets cold at night, and then you're closer to. You're closer to Denver, right? Up there, up north, you're closer to the Rocky Mountains.
I think we're even over 6,500 foot.
Wow.
Yeah, 6,005.
Right. And I still never see the curvature of the Earth that NASA talks about. It's always pretty flat.
I know. Yeah. I know.
But Jordan, this hysteria, they want people to be scared. To me, it looks like the media is propping up a problem so they could get the reaction of the people, which is fear. You go back to Babylon and to America, all these modalities, the totalitarian systems, they all operate using fear.
Of course they do. That's the way you control people. You keep them frightened, you keep them scared.
Yeah.
I've known that. I've been told that many times, that's the way you control people. Keep them frightened, and they will do what you tell them to do. But if they feel secure, they're not going to do nothing. And so that's why you always keep the people frightened of something, and then they will do what you want them to do.
Wow.
And but I was talking to a lady who was the head of the Democratic Party in Washington, D.C., and she said, we're told as officials in the Democratic Party that we have to keep the people worried and sick. So that's why we're always coming up with some problem. We got some terrible problems going to hurt everybody. And she said that's what we're told to do, is always keep telling the people about some terrible problem that's coming. And this way keep the people out there, keeps the people off base. They don't know what to do, and they're scared, and they don't know what to do and where to go. And that's the way you want them. That's the way you want them, so you can control them politically. And so that's why I don't care about the stock market at all.
Right.
I've never had a nickel in the stock market. I don't have a dime in it now, and I couldn't care less. So That's my feeling. I don't care about the stock market.
Right, those are rich man's games right there. They're playing with the people's emotions. Like, oh yeah, look, the stock market's gonna crash. Meanwhile, they're doing all their behind the scenes trickery, and it's all a sham.
That's right.
But you know what I don't think is a sham is what's going on in China, and that's what you finally see the culmination of what true communism really is a place like China where I hear the crematoriums in China are working 24/7 and they say they're burning animal bodies, but I think they're burning human people. That it's a mass Holocaust in China.
I think so. That's what it is, a mass Holocaust. That's why I think it's happening, yeah. I wouldn't be a bit surprised because I know how ruthless the Chinese government has been in the past. Not human, nothing like human. I mean, totally demonic and depravity.
Yeah.
And so it doesn't surprise me, anything that Chinese do.
Right, they're on pace to killing more people than the Nazis, more than likely.
Yeah, that's right. Mao Zedong has killed more people than Hitler and Stalin and all the other murderers put together. Mao Zedong killed more people on the earth himself than all the other tyrants put together.
Wow.
In China. And the reason why it's so easy to do, because China has so many people there. Very easy to kill 100,000 people in China because there's so many millions of people everywhere.
Right.
So that's what's going on.
No, this is just beyond preternatural. I've been covering this, and it's like, now there's a correlation to a video game that has something to do with zombies and bio warfare. They have the same logo, which is ironically the Knights of Malta logo. The giant cross symbol. It's the same logo for the corporation that's supposed to be taking care of this Wuhan contagion. And
yep.
I mean, the government, I've researched that they've actually been preparing for zombies. So, I mean...
Well, that's why they've been pushing it in America. All the television shows and comedy shows and movies about zombies.
Mm-hmm.
There's a reason why, because it's a worldwide effort to put that out into the people's minds that all they are is just a bunch of zombies.
Right.
And in point of fact, that's what it looks like. They don't know anything. They don't read anything. They don't care about anything. And all they are is they act like zombies. So I understand.
So is it more of a metaphor, Jordan, or are they actually trying to turn the population into zombies and corral us all into freaking FEMA camps and force vaccinate us? Because now I'm hearing Trump is saying, oh no, I'm working on the coronavirus vaccine, my administration, and what's next? Are they gonna force vaccinate the whole lot of us? I mean, I don't know if they can do that.
Well, they got technology today that they can do things that we have never even heard of before. And I think what's going on with this coronavirus, when I first heard the word coronavirus, it tipped off in my mind, because I've seen it so many times before, the word corona.
Uh-huh.
You need to look at that word corona and what it means. And if you've been doing the kind of research I've been doing on communist China, that word is very, very telling. It tells you a lot. If somebody says something about a coronavirus, the word corona means something. And boy, it caught my eye and my ear the moment I heard it. I knew what this was all about. Just hearing that word, I could already tell you what I think is going on here. I think this coronavirus is, first of all, obviously a military operation to kill off people militarily. But I don't think it was the Chinese communists who were doing it. I don't think it's the government who's doing it. I think whoever's doing it wants the Chinese government to be destroyed too. So I don't think that it's the Chinese government that's put this coronavirus out. although the coronavirus is, in my opinion, a military operation. Somebody wanted to kill off a large amount of people, so they put this coronavirus out. But I don't think it was the Chinese Communist military.
Right. No, you see,
and I don't think it's the American military either.
You see, the protesters that were in Hong Kong, they're gone. And as a matter of fact, the streets are barren. They're empty. It looks like something out of 28 Days Later zombie horror movies. Where it's completely barren, and there's no one on the streets, and there's a bunch of money all over the floor because nobody needs it. It's been devalued, right? I mean, you see the correlation between this supposed coronavirus and the economy. Oh, it's going up. Oh, it's going down. Oh, it's great now. Oh, it's very bad because of it. So it's a psychological operation, right? In more ways than one.
Absolutely, but as I said, I could be wrong, but I don't think it's a Chinese military conspiracy to kill off people.
I see.
I don't think it's them, and I don't think it's the U.S. military. But U.S. military and the Chinese military both have done things like that before to kill people off with viruses or diseases or something like that, chemical warfare. So they both are guilty of doing things like that, but this time I don't think it's either one. I think what this coronavirus represents is some of the Illuminati masters at the very top of the world. They have their own scientists, and their scientists are always working out diseases for the masters of this world to use. And so I think it's the masters have hired their own private people to come up with this new virus that's attacking the Oriental, because the masters of this world know that there's just way too many people in the Middle East and in the Orient. And so how best to deal with that is to have some secret scientists, very, very secret scientists, develop some kind of a plague for the Orient and then release it on China, because China needs to be cut down. She's got too many people to feed, too many people to start with. So I think the Illuminati masters who run this world have got their own private scientists coming up with ideas of diseases or whatever to kill out the people. And so it doesn't necessarily have to come from China, but I think it was developed by people who know how to put it into China and have it take its toll in China.
Wow.
And America both.
And these Illuminati masters, I mean, the clue, and they always leave a lot of clues. The clue is the word corona, as you said. And what is what is corona? Who wears a corona? I mean, the corona is a lot of things. I mean, going to even the male genitals, to the top of the male skull, in chakra and the New Age beliefs. It's the seventh crown of the top of the way you connect to God, right?
That's right.
The seventh chakra, and the corona is worn by the Queen of England, who represents the British, the Germanic, Visigothic monarchy.
Yep, it's true.
So are these the Illuminati masters? I think so. I think corona, all roads lead to. I think England this time, as well as Rome.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you what, there's no doubt in my mind that the aliens are involved in our life form, in our life. But the corona in my mind, was always a sunburst. If you ask a child to draw the sun,
right.
And then they put little spokes around the sun for the sunburst.
Right.
Those spokes around the sunburst, is called a corona. And then when you look in the reference books, look in the encyclopedias for the symbol for world communism.
Yes.
World communist symbol is a sun rising above the earth with a reef around it.
Right.
And it shows you the sun and the rising of the sun as a corona, all the spokes around the symbol.
Just like Jesus' crown of thorns around his head.
That's exactly right.
Corona,
representing the corona.
Representing the black sun, the corona, the corona, the black sun that the Jesuits worship. And again, the queen can't marry her retarded cousin without the Jesuit and the Pope and Vatican's approval. So, I mean, it's, again, in the Knights Templar logo has a big crown and a cross through it.
That's right. That's the corona.
And it's like the Joker, right? Like the Joker. When he robs a bank, Jordan, he leaves a calling card that says Joker on there for Batman, so the Batman can have a clue, right?
That's right.
Because he wants Batman to know.
So that's why I think the corona has something to do with the ultimate Illuminati masters of this world.
Wow.
Not with the military establishment, not with the military establishment in America or China or Russia. They have got plenty of that kind of stuff they've been doing, but this one doesn't seem like it's the same one. My gut feeling is this one's being done by a secret power. Kind of reminds me of some of the movies, James Bond movies, where there's a secret group operating and causing diseases and causing and developing diseases. And in those James Bond movies, you can see it happening. I think that's what's actually going on right now, is that the masters of this world are plotting to get rid of a lot of people.
Yeah.
They keep talking about getting rid of billions of people. Well, this could do it.
The vaccine can do it. It's just right out of the Georgia Guidestones. I mean, the same things that the World Health Organization is advocating with vaccinating, that this many people on the earth. They're in league with what it says to keep the population, under, what was it, 900 billion, or I don't know what it says on the stones precisely, but I know Bill Gates wants to be part of this. He is a part of this. He had a strange mock disease event 201, where he released something similar to coronavirus. And again, it's like problem, reaction, solution, right, Jordan? He's already come up with the problem, and the people are reacting, and now they have the solution, which is to vaccinate everybody with these vaccines that are obviously a poison to kill humanity.
I think so too, and I think this is going to be a serious one.
Yeah,
and it's obviously being done by somebody who has the power to do it.
Yes.
And put it into China and let it work on the Chinese people first, because the powers that be on this earth know that China has become too big, that too many people. It's going to be very difficult to control a country with that many people. So I think that the Illuminati masters who run this world have decided to kind of cut the herd down a little bit in China.
Right.
Kill a couple 100,000 or a couple million or something.
Wow.
Cut down their numbers.
Also, China was on our heels as an economic superpower. It was going to replace the United States of America. That everybody was saying, all the top economic forecasters were saying that China was due to surpass us. And again, this looks like the U.S. and China have been going toe to toe in a 15-round fight. And finally, the U.S. in the late rounds, because they begin whip throughout the whole fight. Finally, in the late rounds, the U.S. got a liver shot to China and finally got them to go down. Finally.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
That's what it looks like.
I think we're going to see some really serious problems in America in October.
Oh, wow.
Of this coming October, we're going to see something, I think, and it's just my opinion, something on the order of 9/11. What happened back in 9/11?
Yeah.
Something like that's going to happen in America again in October.
Yeah.
So just remember, if something like that happens in October, just remember I told you.
You told us on this show, the Bruce Montalvo Show, the great Jordan Maxwell. I mean, we can see. It's not that we have a crystal ball and we're seeing the future. It's just that just by knowing just what they do, from the past, studying the past, you know what. And why do you pick October? Why October? Obviously, that's Halloween and all the high witch and unholy holidays for them, right? For the Illuminati.
Yep. And I'm just watching the world.
Yeah.
Slowly but surely self-destructing.
Yeah.
And America is the new Roman Empire, and I am watching the United States Empire collapsing exactly and precisely the way it did in the ancient world when the ancient Roman Empire collapsed. We today in America are in the same identical situation. The heads of government, the democratic societies in America are like in Rome, wanted Caesar dead. They wanted to kill the Caesars. They wanted to kill the people's president.
Right.
And I've heard the Democrats say the same thing. They ought to kill Trump, get rid of him.
Yeah.
Why? Because this is a Roman Empire, and he knows it, and he understands it, and he doesn't want America going down like Rome did, collapsing under the corruption of the Roman Empire. And so that's why all the Democrats hate him, because they've been working for years, all day, all time, all the years long. The Democrats have been working day in and day out to destroy the economy and the morals and the ethics, scruples of it's just the whole entire culture.
Oh yeah, totally. I mean, look at their candidates. The candidates, an open homosexual that probably hurt dogs, according to the internet. He was out there killing dogs. One of them, Pete Booty Plug or whatever his name is. And then you have Joe Biden, who I've seen on video. Everybody's seen the shocking videos where he's in the White House and little girls are next to him in the White House and he pinches their nipples right in front of the parents, right in front of the cameras. And he's just the creepiest kind of person. All these people are just outright Marxists. It's almost like they're out of the Wizard of Oz, and it's like the one that didn't have a brain, the very moronic and outright communist, just thieves. This disheveled pinko, pink free. He's literally pink. Bernie Sanders, a pink communist with disheveled hair all over the place. Literally, just has all the youth in a hysteria. And they don't know any better. They don't know that communism's killed more people than the Nazis.
I know that, but most people don't know anything about Marxist communism. They have no idea in the world what it is. I've been looking at it for some 60 years. I know damn well what it is. I know what the words mean. I know what the symbols mean. I know what the word democracy means, where it comes from. And it's a really incredible story when you look at the word democracy and find out it's actually Soviet communism. Calls themselves Democrats today.
Mob rule. Mob rule.
Mob rule.
And they need, you mentioned that they always need some type of disease or a problem. And look what's going on now in the midst of the Democratic primaries or whatever. I mean, they're not going to be able to even touch Trump. He's going to crush all of them.
I'm sure of it.
They selected him. But in the midst of all this, what's happening? Oh, we're all diseased. We all need to give, the earth is going to melt. We all need to give the government money to prevent the earth from melting. I mean, the government can't even stop the spread of diseases most of the time. Or I don't even know if this is even a real disease. It's like a psyop. But
the CDC is Center for Disease Control, not eradication. Not the Center for Drug Eradication and Disease Eradication. No, the Center for Disease Control.
Right, they're creating.
The government wants to control the diseases.
Mm-hmm.
They don't care if it's killing people, as long as they got the control, because they'll decide who they want dead, and they give them the disease, let them die. So this is why we have a CDC, the Center for Disease Control.
Yes. No, Jordan, you mentioned that there's the Illuminati secret masters with their secret scientists. I remember this video game, Resident Evil, has the same type of Illuminati secret societies that have control of the U.S. government and bio-warfare divisions. So it's all based off of truth. It's not fiction. These video games may seem as fiction, but you play them enough, and then you see there's this directive by the Pentagon titled CONOP 8888 that is there to prepare the government for actual zombies. Not like, oh, they're stupid, they just watch TV. No, actual flesh-eating or coming back from the dead. Or, I've seen in the Haitian voodoo, they literally bring back the dead. So I don't know what the hell the government's preparing for. It sounds like real zombies are coming at us sometime soon.
Is what the government sees you as. The government sees the people, the men and women of America, are actually in the eyes of the government to be zombies.
Okay.
Because they're walking around brainless, ignorant, ill-informed, unread. They're doing nothing but drinking their alcohol, shooting their drugs, and watching their ball games,
right,
and their football and basketball and tennis ball and baseball and all the other ball games.
And that's telling too, right? Baal. I mean, it's Baal worship. It's Baalism.
Yeah, Baal worship, and it's really interesting with the worship of what was it? The place that we call today Israel was called the land of Canaan. It was called Canaan. And today we don't call it Canaan, we call it Israel.
Right.
But Israel is where the land of Canaan was. And in Canaan they worshiped the sun as the great fire in the heaven. They called it the great fire. Well, the sun is a great fire in the heaven.
Yeah.
And Moloch was the god of the fire of heaven. Moloch was the god that the Canaanites worship. And the worship of Moloch in the land of Canaan, where we call Israel today, that area, when they had the celebration of the god of fire, his name was Baal, B-A-A-L.
Right.
Not Baal, B-A-L-L. No, B-A-A-L. Baal. Baal was the sun, the god of fire from the heavens. And so what the ancient Canaanites would do is they'd bring their little children, they'd bring the newborn, the small children, and they would throw their children into a big statue that had a big bowl at the bottom of it, and they were having a fire burning 24 hours a day, and representing the sun. And so they would take their children and throw them into this bowl of fire, and the children would burn to death immediately. And then after the service was over, the priest of Cana, they had to eat the bodies. Since they were French fried already, they were already fried to a crisp. The priests were told to eat the bodies of the babies that they had just burned.
Wow.
And so this is why when they ate the bodies, they were eating human bodies, eating human flesh. And so that's where we get the word Cana, from the land of Cana, and Baal worship, Canabals.
Right.
And so they became known as Canabals. And we today call it Cannibal. No, not cannibals, Canabal.
Wow.
The land of Canaan worshiping Baal worship.
And that's also Cain, right? The first
right.
murder in the Bible, Cain, Baal.
That's right.
All
and
those.
Why is it Adam and Eve had Cain and Abel?
There you go.
Abel. B-E-L. Cain and Abel.
Amazing.
Yeah, there's a lot of interesting stuff in the Bible people just don't know. And we're not being told. And so that's what I do. I go around the world talking to people, trying to wake them up to what's really going on in their religion and in their government and in their world that they're totally not aware of. And so many people have no idea in the world what I'm talking about.
Right.
But anyway, I do the best I can.
A lot of them do, and you have one of the biggest cult followings I've ever seen in the alternative media. And I mean, your Gaia shows are just totally off the hook with views and millions of views. Just amazing stuff. Jordan Maxwell joining me. And if you want to support Jordan, you want to know all about the research that we talk about here and that he's a part of, the Jordan Maxwell Research Society is the best way to do that. Right, Jordan?
Yes, and this is the best way to find out all of this stuff that I've been looking at all these years, for over 60 years. I started 60 years ago.
Wow.
Looking at all the dark secrets of the governments and the religion. A lot of knowledge. The governments and the banking and the military. I've been looking at the dark secrets of life for 60 years. And today I'm putting it all on my website. So if you want to see some of the stuff that you've never seen before and never heard of before, go on my website to Jordan Maxwell, and it's called JordanMaxwellShow.com. You have to have all three words. Jordan, like the Jordan River, Jordan, Jordan, Maxwell, Maxwell, JordanMaxwellShow.com. And I emphasize the word show because there are many different websites out there on the web called Jordan Maxwell. But the people are using my name to make themselves money, to sell their product. But my website is Jordan Maxwell Show.
Right.
And when you go to Jordan Maxwell Show, you will see a little flyer, a little promotion flyer that says Jordan Maxwell Research website. And you can click on Jordan Maxwell Research site, and it will take you to a site where you have to join it. And once you join it, it's a one-time fee to join, a lifetime subscription to the research website that I have. I've got all the pictures, the documents, the audio, the videos, all kinds of research documents and research papers, books and people, important people and books and materials.
Right.
Everything I've been working on for 60 years is all there.
Right.
So go to Jordan Maxwell Show, and then when you go there, click on Jordan Maxwell Research website and join. And then you will see the kind of stuff you and I have been talking about for a long time.
Absolutely. No, it's very easy to find. If you go to Google and you just type in Jordan Maxwell Research Society, your site to join, the subscription site comes up right away. So they can.
Yep.
It's very simple. And no, it's just, is our book going to be up there soon?
I guess so.
Yeah, I'll put our book up there soon. We have it coming to hardcover very soon. I'd say within the next month or so, I'll have a hardcover edition, because right now we have it available on Kindle. The book that Jordan helped us co-author, The Language of Symbols, and it's a heavy duty book, isn't it, Jordan?
No, it's a profoundly important book. And my friend down in San Diego, did you ever talk to him about putting it out in hardcover?
I'm working on that independently, but who's your buddy in San Diego?
My friend is Paul Tice, Tice.
Paul Tice.
He owns a company called The Book Tree. The Book Tree.
Yes.
He's a big publisher. He's a major publisher.
I've heard of him, yeah.
He's got books published all over the world. And on the web everywhere, like with what's the big book company out there now, Amazon. You go on Amazon and type in The Book Tree, and you will see all the books he has out there on esoteric and off the wall, strange occult subjects. And he's in San Diego. It's called The Book Tree.
Excellent. I'm gonna have to look him up. I know he's a good friend of yours, and he's published with you a couple of your old publications, your older books.
Oh, has he ever? He publishes me all the time.
The Old Time Religion. He published that one for you, right?
That's right.
Yeah, great book. Great book.
The Matrix of Power, The Matrix.
Amazing.
He published that way before the movie came out.
Oh, I'm going to get in touch with him right after the show, Jordan. I got a double feature with another guest researcher from this very book, our book that we're talking about. But it's been great having you on. We're going to have you on as many times as possible whenever you're available. My audience loves hearing from you. Literally the Michael Jordan of esoteric research, Jordan Maxwell.
Yep, and thank you for allowing me to be on. And anytime you want to do a show, just call me, let me know up front, and I'll get back to you.
You got it, Jordan. And you've been busy with a lot of your conferences and meetups. You just went from the UFO Expo in Laughlin, and
yeah, I just was there. I got a really beautiful award there.
Nice.
They gave me a Lifetime Achievement Award.
Wow.
Yeah, it was a really excellent, beautiful award.
You get a lot of love. You get a lot of love. You get recognized at all the best conferences for the alternative research and alternative media. Everybody's always recognizing you because your work is that important, Jordan. You mean a lot to everybody, and you just profound the knowledge you drop on us every time you're on the show. Anyway, thank you for being on, Jordan, and let's talk soon.
Oh, for sure. Talk to you again.
Talk to you.
Let's do it anytime. Bye-bye.
You got it. Bye, Jordan.
Bye-bye.
See ya. Jordan Maxwell, and that was one hell of a show. But the crowning show, that's what we talked about, the coronavirus, the crown. That's putting all the jewels there, just shining them up for you on the crown so you can see clearly what's going on. We'll be back. Stay tuned. Part 2, Bruce Montalvo Show coming back.
Montalvo Broadcasting Network. Support MBN, Montalvo Broadcasting Network, and shop with us over at Montalvo Store. Go to ebay.com and search in the advanced search. Type in Montalvo Store. Now support Montalvo Broadcasting Network. We have a wide array of books on conspiracy, apparel, and much more. Support your favorite radio station, Montalvo Broadcasting Network, by visiting Montalvo Store on ebay.com.
Tribal, primitive, rustic, Burning Man, punk rock, conceptual subculture for the edgiest, most cutting-edge designs of jewelry today. Go to etsy.com/shop/conceptual subculture, or one word, either by going to Google or search Etsy, ETSY.com, and type in one word, conceptual subculture. You will find the hottest designs using natural stones with wire wrap rings, rough, raw, genuine, semi-precious gemstone jewelry, solid sterling silver, copper, leather, organite, bracelets, pendants, chokers, men's copper cups with sterling accents, eco-friendly, repurposed, original, one-of-a-kind design earrings. Support MBN by going to Conceptual Subculture on Etsy. Go to Antique Obsessions for the hottest in jewelry, antiques, repurposed, solid sterling silver, one-of-a-kind, handmade by Bruce and Jaja. Go to our Facebook, which is Antique Obsessions, or you can go to Etsy.com and go to Antique Obsessions, one word, or type it into your Google and find us there.
The stylish and hippest clothing around. Go to Poshmark.com. Poshmark.com at Anti-Culture. At Anti-Culture. The coolest, hippest apparel on the internet. Poshmark.com. At Anti-Culture.
Hi, this is Jaja. Come shop with us at Poshmark.com/closet/anticulture. Sign up for Poshmark using our code anticulture. That way you can have $5 in your pocket when you join up and you can buy something from our store. We have mad stuff like upcycle things, Armani, Hurley, O'Neill. We upcycling all kinds of things like LL Bean. And plus we got our tie-dyes and just mad stuff. Just come check us out. Also you can sell your own stuff too using the Poshmark app. But sign in first using our code anticulture. And you can find us at Poshmark.com/closet/anticulture. Or when you're up in there, just at anticulture us. And you can look under the peoples. Check you out. Peace.
With SRN News, I'm Greg Clugston in Washington. The first Super Tuesday results are in, and former Vice President Joe Biden has picked up 2 Democratic presidential primary victories in Virginia and North Carolina, while Senator Bernie Sanders has won in his home state of Vermont. The race has changed considerably since Biden's dominating win in South Carolina and the endorsements he picked up from 3 former rivals. But Sanders remains well-positioned with strong funding and political organization on this Super Tuesday. One potential wild card is former New York City Mayor Michael Bloomberg. His name is appearing on primary ballots today for the very first time. On the Republican side tonight, President Trump wins the presidential primary in Vermont. I'm Greg Clugston in Washington. Now with more news, here's Keith Peters.
25 people are dead as powerful tornadoes swept through Nashville and other parts of Tennessee in the early dark of Tuesday morning. Tennessee Governor Bill Lee says he's seen firsthand the destruction from the tornadoes.
I spent the day touring and visiting with victims and walking through neighborhoods, and the devastation is heartbreaking. It's heartbreaking. It's incredible.
The tornadoes shredded more than 140 buildings and buried people in piles of rubble and wrecked basements. During a Senate Health Committee hearing today, National Institute of Allergy and Infectious Diseases Director Dr. Anthony Fauci tells lawmakers it'll take time to develop safe treatments and vaccines for the new COVID-19 coronavirus.
We hope that we'll be able to get good news to you and that we'll be able to say in the next X number of months that we'd have candidates. But there'll be no guarantee of that. And the only way to know that will be to do the kind of clinical testings that I'm talking about.
9 people are reported dead as a result of the virus in the United States. On Wall Street, the Dow down by 785 points. This is SRN News. An ultimatum for Christians in Kenya.
It comes from the Muslim terrorist group Al-Shabaab, which has been operating in neighboring Somalia for years. International Christian Concern says a spokesman for Al-Shabaab has ordered all Christians in 3 counties in northeastern Kenya to get out, clearing the way for local Muslims to take their jobs. The terrorist says if the Christians don't leave voluntarily, Al-Shabaab will drive them out. Earlier this year, 3 Christian teachers were murdered in the region. Michael Harrington, SRN News.
The new Democratic majority in Virginia's legislature continues reshaping the state. Lawmakers passed a bill that will allow transgender individuals to receive a new birth certificate to reflect the change of sex without the requirement of surgery. Since the Democrats have taken over in Virginia, they've been busy rolling back legislation passed by previous Republican majority legislatures. Abortion restrictions are being loosened and pro-LGBT measures are being taken up. The House of Delegates includes a transgender lawmaker. This is SRN News. In the wake of worries about the COVID-19 coronavirus, there's a big run on hand sanitizer. Correspondent Ken Lorman reports.
Fear of the coronavirus has led people to stock up on hand sanitizer, leaving store shelves empty, and online retailers with sky-high prices set by those trying to profit on the rush. But more of the clear gel is on the way. Purell, the best-selling hand sanitizer, is pumping up production, and Walmart and other stores say they're talking to suppliers to stock up bare shelves.
Sales of hand sanitizers in the U.S. were up 73% in the 4 weeks ending February 22nd, compared with the same period the year before, according to market research firm Nielsen. The World Bank is making $12 billion available to provide immediate support to low-income countries dealing with the health and economic impacts of the coronavirus. More details at srnnews.com. I'm Keith Peters in Washington.
Bruce Montalvo.
Continues to spread conspiracy theories.
penchant for promoting bogus conspiracies as though they were fact.
Bruce Montalvo conspiracy theory.
This is CNN, a network of China Broadcasting System.
All is Bruce Montalvo. Bruce Montalvo is the only radio talk show host that's not controlled.
Hello and welcome, ladies and gentlemen. You're listening to the Bruce Montalvo Show, March 3rd, 2020. We're joined by an esoteric researcher. He is a guest researcher on my book, The Language of Symbols, that Jordan Maxwell have co-author, and he is also a radio talk show host out of Milwaukee. He's joining me to break down the esoteric the resemblances of the whole coronavirus and the esoteric meaning behind corona and the whole word behind corona and how just symbolic it is. Kristian Harris joins me. Hello, Kristian.
Hey, how you doing, Bruce? A long time. It's been a little while since I've joined you, and boy, there's a lot going on in the world today. It seems like we have like locust plagues and like they're worried about climate change, and we have the magnetic pole shift going on, and now we have the coronavirus. And
what's that all about? What's that all about? Corona. As soon as I saw the word corona, we just had Jordan on, and he said that it's just so telling, right? The sun rays of the corona, again, the sun worshippers. And what is this Luciferian agenda they got going on here, right? There's something's going on with they're leaving clues just by using the word corona. That's very telling, isn't it?
Well, yeah, the term corona means crown, and who was the first king in history, allegedly, at least history we have written, to wear a crown was the wicked ruler Nimrod, who is also known as the founder of the craft of Freemasonry, according to... if you look up the whole encyclopedia on Freemasonry by Albert Mackey, they list him as one of the founders based on the Constitution. I even had a conversation with Dorothy Mackey, one of his, I think his great-grandchild or grandchild, about the topic. And it's pretty interesting because words have a lot of meaning, and a lot of people understand the correlation. I mean, just look at simple things like how about a worker bee or a builder bee? Who are the builders of our modern times, by the way, Bruce? Isn't it the Masons?
Yes.
A high fatality with a royal order under a queen? Or what does it even mean in society today to be a queen bee?
Right.
When we have a high mentality, is it a unified mentality where only a few will know the esoteric secrets behind what is considered fact? This can be seen in our modern world in the form of, let's say, sustainable development. Or how about this? Smart growth, or smart meters, or smart cars, or smart TVs, smart lights, but smart guns. But does any of it really make you any smarter?
Yeah, no, they have a whole hierarchical system, the ants, don't they? And it's the exact same system that we as humans have seemed to adapt, for this pyramid of power that they've developed, right? They just have a hierarchical order. Like even the ants, you said they have a queen, and one of the most occult symbols is that of a bee and a hive that is used by like you said, the secret societies such as the Freemasons.
The bee has been used, obviously, to represent witches and warlocks, and it's very possible we are teaching things like witchcraft in school. The witch and the bee is a very popular pagan correlation, but are they
totally spelling bee? A spelling bee. Think about that. You spell and then the bee, right? That's total. It just totally came to me right there when you said it.
Well, that's where I'm going with this conversation. So why isn't it called wording, Bruce Montalvo? Why isn't it putting the the letters together or the symbols together called wording. It's because we are actually casting or manifesting a spell when we put symbols together, revealing meaning. When we put a bunch of symbols together, it means many different things. But what happens if we stitch those symbols together? If we tie those symbols together, don't they call that something else? They call that cursive. They call it being cursed rather than spelling.
Amazing. Totally.
Yeah.
This is just telling, because corona is also worn by the British monarchs. They wear the crown, so it's also the crown of the eye. Medical terms, or it could be a eugenics agenda, because it's also the genitalia. The corona, it's a medical term for, and then if you go into the New Age and the chakras and the 7 chakras, it's the sasara, or the crown chakra, right? So it's just, it's like Jordan Maxwell just said, it's the Illuminati masters, have scientists out there doing some crazy things out there in China, probably.
Well, it's no lie based on research, and even people like Fritz Springmeier, who did the bloodlines of the Illuminati, whether he's completely correct or not, a lot of those bloodlines did lead to China. But I do have to mention there are some esoteric correlations here. Obviously, corona meaning crown meaning the crown actually represents the sun, because when Nimrod was illuminated by having incestuous relationships with his mother wife Semiramis,
that's Ishtar, right? That's also Isis.
That's another name for it. Yep, those are all different names for the same individual.
And Odin,
Nimrod,
right?
Odin
is Nimrod, also, right? Odin is predated by Nimrod.
Yeah, but based on my opinion, they're the same individual. Just like we got Woden's Day, Wednesday, and Sundays for Nimrod, but they're the same individual. Whether it's manifested as Nimrod, whether it's manifested Luciferian, it seems like they all are the same individual. Now, it could have gone back further. There's people like Manly P. Hall who believe that the all-seeing eye is of a deeper brotherhood, or the symbol is a pyramid, or a pyramid with the capstone missing. But obviously, when you look at it, you see the all-seeing eye of Horus. Some people associate Horus, Lucifer, and Satan now with Nimrod, and understandably so, because they all have the same ideology, very similar parables, stories that are almost identical, and it can't be complete coincidence. You have that many different anomalies that are all pointing to a certain direction.
Nimrod goes back to the Mesopotamian, one would say the Anunnaki gods, right?
Well, some people would believe that, but Nimrod was considered the great-grandson of Noah. And as you remember, Ham and Noah had a situation on the ark where Noah was found naked, and the garments of skin, based on the books of Adam and Eve, went missing. And they didn't reappear until Nimrod wore them and put them on, because Ham stole them from Noah. And those are the same garments of skin given to Adam and Eve out of the garden, based on the books of Eden of Adam, or the books of Adam and Eve, the Judaic text. And I think it's really interesting, because that's when he was given power as if he was Nephilim, is when he put on those garments of skin, which were there to help Adam and Eve survive the world outside of the garden, which is all interesting. This is all like mythological,
yes.
But Nimrod then, based on the fact that he hated God so much that God destroyed the world because of the flood, and destroyed all these mythological creatures, a centaur, minotaur, could be elves, who knows, all these satyrs, which, maybe from Saturn.
Elves are totally real, man. Like giants too. I mean, you've seen the new heavyweight champ, Tyson Fury. That guy's a giant, just right out of the old days from the Jack and the Beanstalk.
Giants, it's funny when you mentioned giants. I'm a well-educated individual on this topic. I gave a presentation at the University of Milwaukee, Wisconsin, on the anomaly of Indian effigy mounds and giant human skeletons here in Wisconsin, amongst other areas where they found a large amount of human skeletons between the size of a 7 and let's say 13 and a half feet tall. And we're not just talking one individual, we're talking multiple. Just imagine what they can lift, how big they are. And not only that, even in folklore, Indian folklore, even in American folklore, we have, what was that, Paul Bunyan?
That's right. The Blue Ox, yeah.
Yep, and that's straight out of Wisconsin folklore. And it's
Jack and the Beanstalk, Paul Bunyan.
I actually went to Madison and did research on this, and the guy, Charles Brown, and that's his name, I believe, he did research on Paul Bunyan, and he investigated and interviewed people at 7 different logging camps, some of which swore to work with the guy and said he was 8 foot tall, and he could hack down a tree like no other. That he ate more like no other. And I would have doubted if somebody's that big, they probably eat more, they probably have more strength. And I don't think he had a blue ox, but there might be a reason why, those legends are.
Yeah, you also have the legend of David versus Goliath.
Goliath, King Og.
But what's crazy is with this heavyweight fight that just happened, you had the guy literally drinking the other fighter or licking the other fighter's blood. It was like a Mike Tyson moment.
Yeah,
and I know, and the guy was like 6'9", right? The winner, and he's from Britain. Right, so then you have the whole, and he came in dressed as a king. So that's what I'm saying. Everything that's going on right now, they're showing in the media and the mass media, whether it's sporting events, which we all know is like bread and circus and all that, going back to the Roman times. They're showing this theme of corona and crown and coronations, and the guy just happened to be a giant, literally, who's licking and drinking blood in the ring. And he came in a crown and he won. So is that subliminal for the giants from Britain are coming to rule us all?
Well, it's funny. Did you know that the city of London was founded by giants? You know that, right?
No, what, like London, a giant, like Andre the Giant?
No. The actual esoteric history was... Gomag, or was that Gog and Magog? I don't know if you know this.
Yeah.
Is a legendary and the founder of Britain, as written by Geoffrey of Monmouth of Historia of Regmund of Brittany. So allegedly, Gog and Magog was the giants of Albion, who was slain by Cornelius, a member of the invading Trojan colonizers. So actually, Britain was founded by giants.
So that's the guy that George H.W. Bush is named after, and in the secret societies they called him Magog.
Yeah, Magog is a giant. Yes, and it's a Nephilim. You can call it Napian type angel.
Right.
Folklore, probably pre-biblical context, maybe Atlantean type time. A lot of these giants were said to colonize other areas post-flood and are known for it. I know that some of the descendants of Noah were allegedly the descendants who discovered or settled like Ireland, and obviously
like the Vikings, right? With the Vikings, the Nordic people, all those are pretty much descendant from Nazis, and the Norse mythology believed in these giants. And this is what the Nazis, the Third Reich, believed in also. They believed they were descendants of these so-called giants, right?
That is correct. The Norse, and it's funny because there were stories of the Romans fighting the Celts, saying that they were 12 feet tall, and how you could understand and see there's actually battles in history where Caesar sent over 1,000 or 2,000 soldiers, and they lost to 200 of these giants, saying they were 12 to 13 feet tall. In fact, where do you think the phrase cut them down to size comes from in war? The term cut them down to size comes from because they would start with the legs to make them and actually cut them down to size.
Wow. So it's a term that literally refers to giants in combat in the ancient times. Incredible. No, and then you also see these huge castles back in the day with these huge doors. So I mean, I'm a normal sized dude. I'm like 5'11", almost 6 feet. I don't need a door that's like 20 foot tall to walk through something. But these doors in Europe, these monolithic castles, they all have the biggest doors and moats around them. Like if they're worried about big people or a big person owns that place or something.
Well, there's no doubt that could be a big reason why, but keep in mind it may be for the same reason why we have bridges that have minimum heights, because there might be bigger vehicles that travel through them. Although, as old times, they may have had some big equipment coming through, catapults, other items. But yeah, there could have been giants as well.
And they could have set up like let's say Stonehenge, for instance, like a couple of those dudes. Let's say like a gang of those dudes, like 10, 12 of those dudes could have picked up like all those rocks and just move it around.
Okay, now we're getting into my territory. That's exactly correct. Manly P. Hall believed it was the giants who built the pyramids, according to ancient history, that it was giant humans that actually built those giant pyramids and may have built things
I've
like...
heard that, but now they've been built and rebuilt to cover up evidences of water damage and flood also, I've noticed.
Well, absolutely, but the point being, the pyramid is a very sacred and very important structure, which is one thing I wish we would have still have Jordan on, because I'd like to ask him what his opinion is. What does the all-seeing eye pyramid actually mean? Because there's different meanings to so many different individuals, because that's what it comes down to, because it's nonstop, it's repetition. So I literally recorded video of a new TV series called Picard. Great series, by the way. It's post Star Trek with Picard. He's old. The whole Federation is corrupt, and he wants to bring it back to righteousness. But they have a card game in the beginning of one of his episodes. I believe it's season 1, episode 5. And the cards are on triangle. And guess what the first card is?
What is it?
The all-seeing eye.
Right.
And
Space Force. You see Space Forces. You talk about Trek. Space Force is just adapting what the Star Trek logo for themselves with Trump's.
It's not that. Socialism, though. Yeah. That's the whole Gene Roddenberry model is based on socialism. But I believe that it's more pure form, because I believe that just like anything, any form of government can be genuine and good, but it's only as good as the people that are in it and that are held accountable. As we're in a democratic republic, we have that if we so choose to vote the evil people out.
Yeah, Democratic Republic just sounds dirty. It sounds like mob rule, like Italians and mafia and all that. And if you break that down, democratic, which Jordan just did in the last hour, you see that it's just that. No, you got to have him on and talk all this esoteric talk with him. Have him on your show. I told him about your show and how you're running Milwaukee over there with the Rundown Live, and he's anxiously waiting to be on your program, bro.
Yeah, I definitely have to make time. I've just been having my hands full, but working with this book and working with a bunch of things. And I have a new website launching called the Esoteric Journal.
That's right. I was going to ask you about that. You have a book coming out, your own book too, right?
Yeah, right.
Nice.
I'm working on this. It's called All Roads Lead to Babylon.
Nice. You told me.
Dealing with all the symbolism of sun worship, sun deities, and basically... like, for example, where do we get the days of the week? Most people don't understand that Monday's for Moon Day, Tuesday's Thursday, Wednesday's Odin's Day, Thursday. Come on, be like, yeah, Thursday.
Saturn, obviously, that's Saturn's day. Sunday is the most obvious of them all. That's sun worship day. Yeah, man. Yeah, your role in my book, also co-authored by Jordan, you cover a lot of stuff. From sun symbols to Metatron, and you name it.
Yeah, well, that's just it. All the terms we use as modern day, when we talked about spelling in the B, like Metatron, Meta as in data, Tron as in the computer movie, it's not by chance. Metatron was a scribe of God who wrote everything down, so everything was written digitally. And we're just discovering right now quantum computing and these crystal skulls and things like that. Who's to say that all this data has not been recorded? Because it's been said in legend that we will just rediscover all the secrets and all the secret teachings once we learn how to decipher what's been left to us.
Right.
And, maybe it's these crystal skulls.
And then you have in Transformers, you have Megatron, and he's like an evil, he's like evil AI, you know. So you have that AI. Could also, you have Anunnaki, and both at the end of that, it's AI. So are the aliens really internet or some type of portal? The internet serves as some type of portal for demonic, preternatural deities that one might presume to be demons or what have you. But we were talking. Yeah, man, we were talking about giants though, and I just want to know, because I see a lot of midgets everywhere. I mean, are midgets, little people, are they related to, yeah, you know, like I went to Mexican midget wrestling the other day. That's what they titled it. Awesome. Mexican midget wrestling. It was across the street. So I said, you know what? I'm just going to go. I'm a Tecate and go watch some Mexicans drop, some midget Mexicans dropping elbows like Randy Savage. But are they related to dwarves? And if so, they've interbred with humans, obviously, and then, you know, we have little people that might be related. They don't even know how magical they really are. You know, if they really started studying esoteric and sacred stuff.
Yeah, there's a lot of qualities throughout the human bloodlines. I mean, there's people who grow horns, much like satyrs do. There's people, like, if you look in the Library of Congress, there's documents of them finding these individuals with horns growing in their heads. Even today, people grow horns on their heads. You can look it up. There's also documentation in the Library of Congress.
What's that called? What's that called? Rhinoceros?
I don't know. Being horny.
Being horny.
But like, there's also a great catalog of sprites being found. Whole graveyards of what they call sprites, which are also known as fairies,
like the soda.
Small people, which could be considered, midgets or dwarves or halflings. But I don't believe it's by chance. I mean, I think that there's a very esoteric history there with gnomes and everything else.
Yeah, totally. And are they the same bloodline? Like, obviously, they're probably related to the giants, like, but it's just the extreme. Like, these dudes, their cousins are the elves, but they're the small guys. And then their other cousins that they probably casted out for being too big or whatever. Who knows? Maybe you'd figure it'd be the big guys that are running the show, right? But for some reason, it's look how tall we are. You know, it's like we're midgets, we're elves compared to some dude that's like literally 8 foot tall or 7 foot tall. But then you know, there's problems being that tall too. What with their heart and whatnot. And
well, that's alleged to modern day history. But the giants that are talked about esoterically, much interest in masonry, amongst other things. Giants in history, it wasn't the heart issues. They were normal and healthy, and they could run and swim faster. You hear these epic stories of Gilgamesh, these epic stories of Gog, of obviously Goliath, and you could go back and back. There's even more. We talked about Magog, but the Indians and the cannibal giants. Giants were also, what's the story of giants? They're always eating humans. They'll put you in your pot and they'll cook you, right? Human, yeah.
We broke that down in the last hour with Jordan. Cain, Abel.
Cannibal,
so you see, it makes the word cannibal. So you have the word Cain and the word Abel, going back to the Bible, Cain and Abel. Cannibal. Or Abel being Baal. Abel.
Well, it's actually, cannibal is also a meaning for Babylonian priest, because what did they do? They ate people and they murdered children, obviously sacrificed them and drank their blood. But cannibal actually breaks down to Babylonian priest, and Jordan's absolutely right. It is a derivative of Cain and Abel, or cannibal. That's pretty funny that it's just one of those things. Why? I'm not quite sure. We don't have that conversation available at the moment. But yeah, Babylonian priest, cannibal, eating human flesh. Yummy dinner time. You know. So.
And when I walk around the aisles in the food in the supermarket and I see these meat products that aren't meat, it's like Beyond Meat or Beyond
like tofu.
No, not tofu. Not tofu. I'm talking about this substitute for meat that this plant-based, they say.
Dog food.
That's right. No, the plant-based stuff, right? I see that, and then they slap on a picture of like a person on one of those. And I'm like, wow, it used to be like a beef, or if it was pig, it'd be a Porky the Pig on there. But no, they have like a person on there. So I guess what I'm trying to get at is, I've watched the movie Soylent Green, and you see that it's 2021, and of course you have the iconic scene where he says Soylent Green is people, the crackers made of people. So what I'm thinking is, are these bastards in the New World Order feeding us people?
Already? Sure they are. So something that I've heard, and I did some research on, was that a embryonic fluid is being used as a substitute.
Dear God.
In flavoring and sugar for like Pepsi products, Miller products potentially, but synthetic. Don't worry, it's not the real thing. It's synthetically made to imitate the real thing identically. So.
Oh, really? That
Yeah,
sounds like some...
you're a fake cannibal. You're not a real cannibal.
Well, it sounds like some funny, phony baloney kind of mumbo-jumbo talk right there. That's how they get around people that don't ask enough questions.
Well, that's just it. And so, now what are the elites doing? They're pumping baby blood through their veins to regenerate their youth. And who's to say they don't have like this giant like dome full of like young babies where they're just pumping blood out of them and filling little vials that are getting then pumped into these
Washington, D.C.
like come out of a comic book.
Washington, D.C. No, these comic books are real. It's all based on real stuff. With laser beams and the Ninja Turtles with their Dimension X opening to Nibiru. Whatever. Yeah, man. Washington, D.C., they have these underground tunnels and underground systems going back to Lord knows when. They're probably used for human trafficking. Of course, you go back to the Vatican and you see the underground catacombs that are in the cemeteries where it's just literally catacombs and underground filled with human bone. The road is human bone. The everything is human bone everywhere, all around you. And that's underground the Vatican.
I find that fascinating, not just because the Vatican, but like I've a gentleman named by the name of Bruce Fenton I worked with. He was doing research about how in ancient times they could literally make bone like liquid and bend it, and no one could understand why. And they may actually made a bone castle in Europe on this, but this is a completely subject. But you're right, dude. The catacombs. There's a lot of secrets in the Vatican that aren't available to the general public.
That library of theirs, for instance. That freaking library of theirs.
I would love that. You know what? I wish transhumanism made some prosperity because I want to live long enough to read all those books, Bruce.
So but that's crazy because you're an advocate of transhumanism, right?
Well, yes and no. Like I'm an advocate for ethical transhumanism. I
know what kind of transhumanism. Is it the kind where like if I lose my arm, I could get an arm like Luke Skywalker and stuff?
Oh yeah, I'm all for that shit. Like I'm all for you if you're blind, getting your robotic eyes to see. If you can't hear, getting
so I could be like RoboCop and stuff.
Exactly.
But not like mowing people down and like having.
Well, no, I disagree. If it's Red from that 70s show and he's being a dick, you need to go in there as RoboCop and make sure you kill that guy from that 70s show because he did you wrong in RoboCop.
The 70s show? You mean those hippies?
Yes.
Those hippie stoners?
Yeah. Red is the guy, the dad.
Oh, yeah. Right. He whacked. His arm off. Well, no, he didn't just shoot his arm off. They completely executed RoboCop. Yeah, they fucked him up.
Got a little slow today, Bruce.
Yeah, man. No, I forgot. Yeah, they shoot his arm off, and then they freaking just go to town. And they fire like 90 rounds. Like RoboCop seriously took more rounds than Tupac or 50 Cent ever did.
Yeah, and then he came back as a robot. He's like, yeah.
You know what? I could I could agree with transhumanism if you look at it from like a RoboCop perspective. That's pretty cool.
Well, not even that. Like, imagine in a Star Trek perspective where they shake a magic wand over you, it finds out what's wrong with you, and then automatically, mathematically can concoct a cure based on your biological makeup.
That's funny you say magic wand, because what are most scalar wands infused with some type of quartz crystal, some type of... I'm sure they could create some machine in this type of technologically advanced world, which is very possible, which they could use it. They could use it for good and try to amplify a frequency that's at the tip of those wands to go across the whole body and literally heal your whole body.
Yeah, it sounds like love, baby.
Doesn't it? Doesn't it? Ooh,
Yeah.
I sound like I'm going to break into song like Barry White. Oh, you know, that's right, baby.
You sound like Elvis.
I don't know, Elvis or Barry White. I don't know. That's what I'm going for, somewhere in that range.
I can do. What's my impersonation?
You know, I have gotten death threats from Elvis, because I say that Elvis is still alive and he faked his death, and I've gotten death threats from the actual Elvis. That's how hardcore of a conspiracy theorist I am, bro.
Could you tell him that according to Douglas Adams, he's on some other planet?
Oh, he's on some other... you mean some other plane of existence?
Yeah, dude. Douglas Adams, The Life of the Universe and Everything. I think it's book 3. Or maybe it was The Restaurant in the Universe. But I'm pretty sure it was book 3 where they discover Elvis was just abducted by UFOs and brought to another planet before...
Abducted by who? The Nazis flying the secret space, the secret space kites?
No, but that's that's impressive. You bring that up. I have another show I've been watching is Project Blue Book on history, and as you know, Chase Kletchka is a good friend of mine, and she used to be with the DoD dealing with UFO sightings. Which I'm not a big UFO person, never have been.
I figured that stuff out a long time ago. I figured out that any and all UFO activity is indicative of the Nazi secret space program. It's not that hard.
I agree with
you know what I'm saying?
But where did they get it from? And they said they talked to the Hollow Earthers. They talked to the people within the planet, and they're like, these little midgets.
You know what? And that's crazy, because in Disney, they believe they show you in the Disney cartoons, they see this big hole that's like Merlin is like casting green smoke out of, and then you see in the Maleficent, you see the character that she has a green aurora around her. And anyway, the Hollow Earth has to do with like the Aurora Borealis, this hole, this magnetic hole in the center of the Earth, and that's where you get the word holy and whole. It comes from whole, but
holy day.
That's right. And I think that's what the Nazis worship, is the symbol of the black sun that's underneath that hole. I mean, as crazy as it sounds, this is all, I didn't come up with it. This is all symbolism and from the occult that they themselves worship, the black sun. And where is that freaking black sun? It's underneath that hole. You know, if you're crazy enough to go down there. You know what I'm saying?
Journey to the Center of the Earth, right? And there's movies about that. There's Viking folklore about it. Bruce Agnew, a top physicist, wants to take a boat out there.
No way. Have you ever seen that alleged footage of the hole from the Russians? They went out there and they saw the magnetic North Polar Vortex.
No, I've not heard of this. I've heard of that they dug the deepest hole ever in history, and that they just sent down metal iron rods, and they went and they started pulling together, which showed that the magnetic pull didn't come from the core, but from the crust.
There's so many crazy places all over the earth, like in like Nicaragua. I think there's the mouth of hell, and it's this just crater that has
a volcano.
No end. Right, and then the volcano symbolism, you go back to Hawaii, and you have with the Pele, the goddess Pele of fire.
How about Mount Sinai?
Right.
You know, Moses, the Ten Commandments, and the Roaring Mountain. You think that Mount Sinai is known as a former volcano? So he was sunburned, they said. Why do you think he was sunburned? Maybe he was etching those rocks with lava. Who knows?
And then you have the story of Merlin, where apparently he was
giant.
He was talking to mountains that were like dead giants or giants that became part of the landscape, or just monolithic mountains that were alive. You know, this is all folklore, all the mythologies.
Wouldn't it be cool if we lived like in David Bowie's The Labyrinth? I mean, that's what we're talking about here.
Yeah.
Like, we're like two kids that used to play D&D, and we're like, what if there was elves and dwarves and mountains that spoke to you and giants?
But that's the truth. That's really happening. I mean, it's happening all around you. I mean, you have a giant from Britain that just won the heavyweight world championship title. He's literally a giant.
Andre the Giant is the champion. Let's put that.
That's right. Andre the Giant was the man. You know what I'm saying?
He was the giant in The Princess Bride, right?
That was a good movie.
Where he was a giant?
You know, when I was growing up, they used to say I looked like Fred Savage. I was like, what the fuck? I'm not some Fred Savage looking son of a bitch.
They gave me too much credit.
Yeah, man. Or Boy Meets World or whatever. It's like Bruce meets World here. But, nah, man, there's so much esoteric symbology behind everything that they tell us in the news.
Yeah.
And you see, I don't really think this coronavirus is what they say it is. What it is, what I see it being is what Jordan and I just discussed, that it's a massive killing operation that they have going on in China. I mean, I'm hearing reports that the crematoriums are burning over there 24/7.
And live people, according to Twitter.
Oh, they're saying it's animals. The government, and then of course the government over there in China is lying about the numbers. It came out, and as you reported a while back, I saw you were.
Yeah, it was 25,000 people was reported.
Yeah.
Wow.
So you know this what this looks like is a massive culling of the herd in China. I mean, what happened to all those Hong Kong protesters? Bye-bye.
Well,
bye-bye.
You mentioned that. That's exactly what this is about. But not only that, like, they have a population issue amongst many other things. There's way too many men versus women, which for obvious reasons, they were literally killing their female babies.
Right.
Which is the one thing Jim Garrow is known for, Pink Pagoda girls getting those small children adopted. You know, it's one of those things where we're now seeing stock market issues. I work for a major tech company. You
there?
As human coronavirus right in it as an ingredient.
Right. You there?
Yeah, I'm there.
Okay, yeah, you broke up for a second, but we just got you back where you said coronavirus and ingredient, I believe.
Yeah, I said that Lysol has the human coronavirus listed as an ingredient.
Wow.
I'll send you a picture of that. If they have a picture of the bottle, it says right on there. But it may not be the same strain that is causing all the deaths, obviously. But, you know, I think that this, remember, we always heard, was it Jesse Ventura's conspiracy theory?
Yes.
Where she always said with the great churning, how they're, like, going to churn the population.
Yeah, with the FEMA camps and all the mass graves and the government caskets.
Well, I mean, they got to do it at some point. Obviously, they did it in World War II. China's way overpopulated. And I think this is just how they're going to do it. Instead of being natural, it's going to be man-created disease, man-created, you know, I mean, all these FEMA camps, they have train tracks that go under the ground, just throwing it out there. Not to be a conspiracy theorist, just stating facts. It's very creepy. It's bizarre.
It's a conspiracy fact.
Yeah, and you know, one thing in America, they're not even able to really test for the coronavirus so well that they don't really know how many people
they're so full of it. It's really nothing more than just a common cold. If you really look up just looking up the facts, it's common cold. It's really nothing to worry about. What I see is it being used to bring about some type of vaccine or some type of forced vaccine program. Because I even hear the Trump administration making strides to get this vaccine out as soon as possible.
Well, wasn't it modified with the HIV vaccine in China, amongst other things, making it more toxic?
Isn't it creepy though, bro? How you have the Resident Evil connections now with the Umbrella Corporation? I know you've been following this as well, and we both have, on our own shows, on radio programs, and you see now if you're a gamer, you totally see it's also the Knights of Malta cross and the Umbrella Corporation, but you see a connection from what's going on in Wuhan to the corporation there that's connected to it. They have the same symbol for Resident Evil. And then the government has this initiative, ConOp 888, having to do with the preparation of zombies. I'm thinking, is every time I go on air now, I'm like that dude on the broadcast from Night of the Living Dead on air, warning people about real zombies. And before, it could be a metaphor, or you and I are zombies for watching too much basketball, or just being too into whatever the media is, right? Being too stupefied into the television. But now I'm starting to think, with what they do at DARPA and what the Montauk Project and not the Montauk Project, but they have a Plum Island and the experiments they do there. They're totally capable of creating some type of bio-warfare pandemic that could mirror already any scripted movie they have in Hollywood, like Contagion or whatever, which is what they're doing now with the coronavirus. And then you see The Simpsons totally nailed it, right?
Except it wasn't called the coronavirus.
It was called Apocalypse Meow. Apocalypse Meow. And that's even more telling, because what are they doing in China? They're throwing their cats out of the windows, and they're not eating their cats. They're putting cats on with the face masks on, and it's just, crazy.
Cyberpunk kitty. It's a new trend. It's cyberpunk. That's what's on over there.
I can't believe it, man. It's just it's a zany 2020. Just this whole start has been like the craziest roller coaster. We're not even through with this year yet, and we've already had so many crazy things. The sports correlations, with Kobe Bryant also, and the death of Kobe Bryant, or supposed death, whatever happened there, blood sacrifice, whatever you want to call it. The dude had a tattoo of a big corona on his arm. And again, he died.
I believe it.
He dies right around the same time, or during the same time they break the coronavirus. So again, that's more predictive programming, subliminal. He had a crown with 3 butterflies, again, as a symbologist to cover the Illuminati. You know that a butterfly has to do with mind control.
Yeah, monarch program.
That's right.
Which is pedophilia or sex slaves, per se.
Wow, and he was accused of being a rapist.
He was, but he was young. He was 19 then.
No, he was older when he was accused. He was already married, had kids and stuff. I think he was in his...
Father a $14 million or $4 million ring, because he didn't do it.
Oh, no, he could just spin a basketball in front of somebody and you just forget what he was accused of.
Hypnotism,
No, but it's so much predictive programming in that death also with, if you saw the clips from the cartoons from Comedy Central predicting that he was going to crash in a helicopter, 2-3 years in advance?
Yeah, it reminds me of Robin Williams committing suicide on Netflix. That was a big one too that made the media rounds.
That's right, and again, they're using all this as a big mass distraction. The coronavirus, the fear. Oh, this sports star, mourn him or whatever. It's like we're living in a they live world, man.
Absolutely, man. I think what we're seeing here is the beginning of fulfillment of prophecy. There's individuals who have interest in fulfilling prophecy because it's a controlled narrative.
That's
and
right.
they know what the response is, and they have fun remaking these prophecies. And whether they like it or not, it's been written, and these people think generationally. They plan out their grandchildren's futures and their great-grandchildren's and their great-great-great-grandchildren's
These
future.
people are the Illuminati masters.
Well, yes, a lot of them are.
Yeah.
And they're at war with each other as well. So it kind of goes to show you.
Right. The Luciferian factions are at war with, like, whatever other factions they may have, Boule or Knights Malta or all these factions, the Vatican, the Jesuits. I mean, they're all jockeying for position.
No doubt. Interesting. I signed up for Corey Feldman's The Rape of Two Corys debut. So,
oh, man, that dude dances weird. Donatello, right? Wasn't he Donatello?
Don't know if Corey Feldman was Donatello.
He was. He was Donatello.
Really?
Yeah, man. He was Donatello in the Ninja Turtle movie.
The original?
Yeah.
No, really?
I'm not giving you fake news, man. Corey Feldman, and then you type in Donatello. Sure. You see, man, I know my shit. I know what's up, no. And I also know all the bloopers, like when they're talking and stuff. You can see and when you're gonna see their faces through the mask and stuff. I can tell you, oh look, there's his face.
Jeez, that's crazy. Yeah, so I signed up for that documentary.
So you signed up for Donatello's documentary.
Yeah, to see whether or not he's a handler and he mentions any legitimate names.
Did he?
He $20 out of me for, just being gullible.
Did he mention anything?
What was that?
Did he mention anything?
No, it hasn't aired yet, but you should go sign up if you get a chance to waste $20.
He totally acts like he's like Michael Jackson, but not with as good dancing moves.
He reminds me a little bit of Michael J. Fox, maybe just a tad.
Michael J. Fox, what, with the disabilities? Like moving around all with
with the disabilities.
With the disabilities. Because he dances more like the Michael J. Fox with disabilities.
Right.
No. You know what? I think it was very brave of him, if it wasn't a put-on, for him to come out and say, hey, yeah, Hollywood is run by pedophiles. For a long time, I mean, that casted him out as a weirdo, and now he's dancing around with, like, chicks and stuff or whatever he's doing. Like, just not even singing. He's just, like, twirling around or whatever he does.
Well, what's really weird is because once you're inbred in that whole culture of monarch program, you're a handler or you're a slave. And so the question is which one is he still? And he's obviously, regardless if he wants to be or not, he's still involved in the great game of mental manipulation and control of trigger words.
So I totally just thought of something. Donatello was raped by Michael Jackson.
Allegedly.
Wow. Allegedly. There you go. So
and he's a vampire.
Right, and Super Shredder was a giant from medieval times. No, actually, he was Kevin Nash. Did you know that?
Or that one boxer from Russia that's like 7'7".
No. Did you know that the real Super Shredder in the second Turtles movie was Kevin Nash?
No, really?
Totally, bro. Kevin Nash. Ask your people. Ask your experts. They know. They'll see like, he was Kevin Nash, man. Big Diesel. Anyway, hey, it's been great having you on, man. Great show as always. You totally know your stuff, and I can't wait for your book to come out. And I got good news. Our book is heading straight to hardcover that you did the guest appearance on. That was co-authored with Jordan Maxwell, myself. It's heading towards publication with the Book Tree. More than likely, I'm going to get in touch with them, and we're going to get the book out there as well as on Amazon, all over the place. It's on Kindle right now. It's doing well. in the standings and stuff. But once it's got a demand for going to hardcover. But let me know when you get your book ready. That way we can send it to the same people and get you on the same roster of books being published on the book tree. How about that?
Hey, that sounds perfect, man. I know I'm reading right now and actually finishing up a classic, that Old Time Religion, The Story of Religious Foundation, by Jordan Maxwell, Paul Tice, and Alan Snow. I read it once a long time ago, but I got a hardcover right here in my hand.
Very nice.
So
that's exactly the people we're going to be working with to get the book out there, man. And you did a great job. And if you have any more research you want to squeeze in at the last minute, the book, for our book, just send it my way. We'll talk after the show. But definitely just interested in your book, and when it comes out, all roads lead to Rome. What's the book?
Hey, no, I wish they kind of do, though.
Yeah,
all roads lead to Babylon, but they also lead to Rome.
Exactly.
Which is a whole other story, but how comes it the symbolism there?
I'm on the beat right there, on the same beat there. But Babylon, Rome, it's all the same pretty much.
We're gonna call All Roads Lead to Atlantis, and we'll just call it.
That's another book. You see that now you're writing a whole series, bro. Anyway, it's great to have you on.
Yeah, absolutely, bro. Thanks for having me on, and sorry to drag you out a little bit.
No, it's fine. Yeah,
definitely, I'll be writing something, and it'll have a cool name. We'll make sure of it.
That's great, and you're still airing every day. You got your show airing on TalkStream Live.
And I got a new show coming out called The Esoteric Journal. It's actually going to be carried by a pretty cool network, and we're going to see about getting a TV series done out of it, so we'll find out.
Right on, brother. Wow. All right, well, let's talk soon. Hopefully we don't all get turned into zombies, but I suggest everybody that's listening to the show, all the rundown audience, you guys prepare. Go out there and prepare for the worst, because whether it's fake news, whether it's whatever it is, whatever they're telling us, propaganda, I mean, you just have to be prepared, right? I mean, what if one day we do have to deal with zombies?
Yeah, that'd be awesome, because
it'd be awesome, right?
A very simple life. It's simple but difficult.
We already have an idea of what to do. You go, you're going down. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know, man. It just sounds like we have a war brewing just around the corner, and we better be prepared for the worst. That's all. I mean, their propaganda machine is just pumping the fear all the time, but I do sense something. Something's lurking. Something. So the best you could do is just prepare. Be prepared for the worst.
Yep. Read your Bible.
That too. Yeah. There's a lot of clues. Anyway, take it easy, Kristian T. Harris. We'll talk very soon, my friend. Thank you.
Thanks again for having me on.
See ya. Thank you. Great show. A doubleheader with Kristian T. Harris, Jordan Maxwell. Be sure to tune in. We'll be on Friday live, 6 p.m. Mountain Time, covering the latest breaking news. You've been listening to the Bruce Montalvo Show. See ya.
Support MBN, Montalvo Broadcasting Network, and shop with us over at Montalvo Store. Go to ebay.com and search in the advanced search. Type in Montalvo Store. Now support Montalvo Broadcasting Network. We have a wide array of books on conspiracy, apparel, and much more. Support your favorite radio station, Montalvo Broadcasting Network, by visiting Montalvo Store on eBay.com.
Tribal, primitive, rustic, Burning Man, punk rock, conceptual subculture for the edgiest, most cutting-edge designs of jewelry today. Go to Etsy.com/shop/conceptual subculture, or one word, either by going to Google or search Etsy, ETSY.com, and type in one word, conceptual subculture. You will find the hottest designs using natural stones with wire wrap rings, rough, raw, genuine, semi-precious gemstone jewelry, solid sterling silver, copper, leather, organite, bracelets, pendants, chokers, men's copper cups with sterling accents, eco-friendly, repurposed, original, one-of-a-kind design earrings. Support MBN by going to Conceptual Subculture on Etsy. Go to Antique Obsessions for the hottest in jewelry, antiques, repurposed, solid sterling silver, one-of-a-kind, handmade by Bruce and Jaja. Go to our Facebook, which is Antique Obsessions, or you can go to Etsy.com and go to Antique Obsessions, one word, or type it into your Google and find us there.
The stylish and hippest clothing around. Go to Poshmark.com. Poshmark.com at Anti-Culture. At Anti-Culture. The coolest, hippest apparel on the internet. Poshmark.com at Anti-Culture.
Hi, this is Jaja. Come shop with us at Poshmark.com/closet/anticulture. Sign up for Poshmark using our code ANTICULTURE. That way you can have $5 in your pocket when you join up and you can buy something from our store. We have mad stuff like upcycle things, Armani, Hurley, O'Neill. We upcycling all kinds of things like LL Bean. And plus we got our tie-dyes and just mad stuff. Just come check us out. Also, you can sell your own stuff too using the Poshmark app. But sign in first using our code ANTICULTURE. And you can find us at Poshmark.com/closet/anticulture. Or when you're up in there, just at Anticulture us. And you can look under the people. Check you out. Peace.
This is a Fox News alert. A big night for Biden. I'm Lisa Lacera.
Just a few days ago, the press and the pundits had declared the campaign dead.
The former vice president racking up the delegates this Super Tuesday. Fox's Evan Brown watching the returns live in Austin, Texas.
Yeah, Lisa, candidates are waiting just as patiently as their supporters, like Joe Biden.
We're still waiting for Texas and California, a few other small states to come in. But it's looking good. So I'm here to report we are very much alive.
And why is there no call in Texas? Because even though polls are officially closed, long lines are reported and the polls must legally allow those in line to vote. Early counts show a tight race between Biden and Bernie Sanders, but much of those counts are reflective of Texas early voting, which ended before Pete Buttigieg and Amy Klobuchar dropped out. Lisa?
Thanks, Evan. And a Fox News alert now. It's 11 o'clock on the East Coast, 8 o'clock on the West Coast, where Fox News Decision Desk can now project that Vermont Senator Bernie Sanders will win California, the biggest and most delegate-rich prize on this Super Tuesday. Earlier, he won the state of Utah.
Tonight, I tell you with absolute confidence, we are going to win the Democratic nomination.
The senator speaking in his home state of Vermont, where he also is projected to win.
And we are going to defeat the most dangerous president in the history of this country.
Fox News also projects that Colorado will go to Sanders. At least 25 people had died after tornadoes roared through Tennessee overnight, shredding more than 140 buildings in Nashville. The Twister's Pass was mostly north and east of the heart of the downtown, sparing many of the city's tourism draws.
Tornadoes do come through Tennessee every 50 years or so. We, however, had one about 20 years ago.
Nashville Mayor John Cooper. America is listening to Fox News.
Successful companies know that in order to grow faster, you must have the right tools. Whether you're doing 1 million, 10 million, or hundreds of millions in revenue, NetSuite by Oracle gives you the tools you need to accelerate your growth. With NetSuite, You get a full picture of your business, finance, inventory, HR, customers, and more. It's everything you need to grow, all in one place, right from your phone or computer. NetSuite will give you the visibility and control you need to make the right decisions and grow with confidence. That's why NetSuite customers grow faster than the S&P 500. NetSuite is the world's #1 cloud business system. Trusted by more than 19,000 companies, it's the last system you'll ever need. NetSuite. Business grows here. Schedule your free product tour right now and receive your free guide, 7 key strategies to grow your profits at netsuite.com/Fox. That's netsuite.com/Fox. netsuite.com/Fox.
President Trump tried to downplay any fears over the coronavirus while also working with federal agencies to combat the disease.
President Trump, upon his return from a visit to the National Institutes of Health, praising the work done by the government concerning the response to the coronavirus, also saying he's not concerned that some U.S. businesses have curtailed travel abroad.
That's up to them. Hey, let them stay in the United States. If they don't travel, if they stay here, that's not a bad thing for us.
Google is canceling in-person attendance for one of its most important events, Google I/O, due to the spread of the coronavirus. The company also confirmed that it has halted international employee travel. At the White House, John Decker, Fox News.
Worldwide, more than 92,000 people have been sickened and 3,100 have died, the vast majority of them in China. A first court appearance for the stepmother accused of killing a missing Colorado boy.
The 11-year-old Colorado Springs boy missing for 5 weeks has been pronounced dead. His stepmother, arrested in South Carolina on first-degree murder and other charges, agreeing Tuesday in court to waive extradition to Colorado. Letitia Stock telling police Gannon Stock left home to visit a friend and never returned January 27th. A statement written by Gannon's father was read during the news conference.
My little boy is not coming home. We will never play Nintendo again.
Saying he'd been looking forward to Gannon's teenage years. Lillian Wu, Fox News.
Placido Domingo's name has been removed from the Washington National Opera's Young Artists Program. The Opera House announced today after an independent investigation found the legendary tenor had sexually harassed women while holding senior positions at the company. Domingo was the leading figure at the opera from 1996 through 2011 as artistic director and later as general director. I'm Lisa Lacera, and this is Fox News.
Fast-growing companies need the right tools, so they choose NetSuite by Oracle. Get a full picture of your business, finance, inventory, HR, customers, and more, all in one place. Schedule your free product tour right now at netsuite.com/Fox. That's netsuite.com/Fox.
With SRN News, I'm Patrick Foss. Joe Biden has scored a series of Super Tuesday victories in Minnesota and across the South.
At this hour, he is the declared winner in 7 of the 14 Super Tuesday states.
We are very much alive!
Meanwhile, Senator Bernie Sanders has won 3 states, Vermont, Colorado, and Utah.
I tell you with absolute confidence, we are going to win the Democratic nomination.
We're still waiting results from the 2 biggest states with the most delegates at stake, California and Texas. A person close to the Michael Bloomberg campaign says the former New York City mayor plans to reassess tomorrow whether he should stay in the race after disappointing results in today's primaries. Bloomberg has spent more than $500 million on his presidential campaign.
Correspondent Greg Clugston. Also at SRNews.com, the number of deaths from devastating tornadoes in Tennessee has risen to 24. Governor Bill Lee announced the increase Tuesday at a news conference with Nashville Mayor John Cooper. Putnam County Mayor Randy Porter says there are a lot of downed power lines.
The power crews are down there working as we speak. Also, we want to make sure that everyone understands this is a very dangerous area. If you have a downed power line at your home, please treat it as it is live.
Rescuers are searching through scattered debris in neighborhoods for bodies less than a day after the storms ripped across the capital city and other parts of the state as families slept. There has been a run on hand sanitizers as the coronavirus continues. In New York,
there's been a second case reported in Westchester, as you all know. At this moment, we don't know whether that patient traveled to New York City using public transportation or not.
That's MTA Chairman Patrick Foy. There have been 9 virus-related deaths so far this week in Washington State. This is SRN News. A pastor issues a warning.
Andrew Brunson knows about persecution. He spent 2 years in a Turkish prison for trying to spread the gospel there. But he told the National Religious Broadcasters Convention last week that America is becoming hostile toward Christianity, too. Brunson, who was freed in 2018, says, quote, "There is a price to following Jesus. There is a price in other countries, but increasingly, I think that there will be a price to be paid here." Michael Harrington, SRN News.
Lawyers for a so-called transgender teen in West Virginia have appealed the dismissal of a lawsuit that accused an assistant principal of harassing the girl for using the boys' bathroom. The ACLU says it's not done fighting for justice for the girl who's living as a boy. Liberty High School assistant principal Lee Livingood was suspended with pay, but was later allowed to return to his position. The school board then voted not to renew his contract. This is SRN News. Medication fog can mimic or worsen dementia in the elderly.
As the number of people with Alzheimer's disease rises, doctors increasingly are looking at improper medication use that can mimic dementia. More than 40% of older Americans take 5 or more medicines, so the risk of side effects or drug interaction goes up as the number of pills increases. Medicines that may have been okay when someone was younger can pose problems when used later in life. The American Geriatric Society keeps a list of potentially troublesome ones and offers tips on ensuring proper medicine use. Shelley Antler, Washington.
The Federal Reserve announced the biggest interest rate cut in over a decade to fend off economic damage Tuesday, but that did nothing to calm the recent crash on Wall Street. With the Dow falling another 786 points, the S&P lost 86, the NASDAQ dropped 268. More details at srnews.com. I'm Patrick Foss.
Montalvo Broadcasting Network.